Hey everybody, what's up? This is Jeff Zimfer, your host for Mortgage Marketing Live Weekly. We are coming at you. We've got an amazing show teed up for you, and we're going to get started in just about 4 seconds. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey, did I say we're going to be right back? We are right back. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to bring in a couple of special guests I have. After working through some tech difficulties, we're ready to rock and roll today. Miles with Bonzo, Al with Movement Mortgage. Woo! What is up, guys? Look at that.
What is that?
True crowd pleasers. Hey, why don't we do this real quick? Announce, I'll go with you first, Miles, who you are, what you do, and then you, Big Al. Go ahead, Miles, take it away.
What's up? Well, you're going to have to excuse my appearance. I just came off the mountain here in sunny Boulder, Colorado. But I'm Miles. I'm with Bonzo. Excited to chat.
Awesome. Al, tell us about you.
Al Buki, Movement Mortgage, coming to you from the home office. I work in South Jersey.
All right, coming to us from Love it. Thanks for being here, guys. So we're here today, talking about, and by the way, if you're here watching live or on the replay, throw in your comments right now, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to reward you for participating today. One way we're going to do that is, if you guys haven't heard yet, hey, the new book is out, Disrupt or Die, How to Survive and Thrive, the Digital Real Estate Shift. So you participate, you put your questions in, and if you hear this sound,
congratulations, you are the winner.
Yeah, you will be a lucky winner of the brand new book that I'll ship to you and even sign it for you. How's that? Okay. So I thought about how do we enter the conversation here today. And so we've got this company, Bonzo, right? And I don't know about you guys, but the first thing I think of whenever I hear somebody say Bonzo.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so we can't get enough of that. I just had to do that. We're having fun with the technology today. Anyway, so tell us, actually, let me do it this way. Let me set it up this way. If you're watching and you have trouble with database management, follow-up, driving conversations with people, converting conversations to leads and so forth, if you check the boxes, if this sounds familiar to you, you don't have enough time to follow up with everyone, can't follow up fast enough with online leads, follow-up is scattered, term CRM scares you, you're tired of organizing data, you're overwhelmed by it, you know you could make more money if you just had the ability to follow up more, you don't have enough time to follow up, oh please, you recently lost a commission due to lack of follow-up, on and on. If any of those sound like you and you want to raise your hand, just type in yes in the notes right here. I want to know if that's you, because if that describes you in any way, shape, or form, today is for you. That is what Bonzo helps you do. Miles, give us the big picture, the highlight headline. What is Bonzo all about, man? What does it do?
You're kind of cutting out there, but I think I got it. So what is Bonzo? That's a good question. Let me start with why I created Bonzo, and then we can get into what it does. So I'm a former loan officer, actually, and I got really, really sick and tired of carrying around a badge of business. We've all been there. And I turned to software. I thought, okay, I have a personality. It's often the reason why people do business with me. I need to find some type of software that can take me, my personality, my business's personality, and enhance it and duplicate it so I can create conversation scale. But all that I found were CRMs, and CRMs aren't bad, don't get me wrong, but they often focus on data organization. And data organization is, again, it's good, but Salesforce actually put out a stat that showed 70% of data goes bad or becomes obsolete every single year. So I was like, okay, well, I know that my business is impacted when I create the most amount of conversations possible. So I tried to find some type of software that would create conversations for me, and I couldn't find it. So what Bonzo does is it creates conversation. We call it conversation software with minimal disruption to you and your business, your personality, and we enhance it and duplicate it so that you can create tons of conversations. My background, again, I was a loan officer, but I was also a chaplain in the Army and ran a community center for refugees and the homeless. And now I run Bonzo. Through all my different phases of life, one thing has stayed true. My impact is a direct result of the amount of conversations I have per day. And Bonds is all about just creating tons of conversations. Does that make sense?
100%. I love what you're saying about creating conversations because, and Al, you probably know this being in the movement culture. I don't know if you've heard of this through the coaching division, but we help LOs focus in two primary areas. One is the income zone, and the income zone is a key part of that is conversations, because conversations leads to transactions, right? So Al, how long have you been using Bonzo, and primarily in what ways is it helping you?
So I've been using Bonzo for a month. So
Okay.
I'm coming at it very, wide-eyed. And, I was looking for exactly what Miles just described. And there's multiple, you go on the internet, there's a million ways you can do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did some research and I had some calls and I asked some friends and, I still wasn't finding what I really wanted. And that was, I wanted to control the process, but I wanted to create a process that I could control.
Right.
And a lot of the things that I saw were pretty much one way or the highway. It's pre-built. You do it one certain way. So I've been doing Bonzo for a month, and I use it for two things really. First, I use it for a lot of inbound lead gen, and I also use it a little bit for recruiting. So I've had a great first month, about 55% response rate on the lead gen, where before I was getting maybe 20, 25%. And I think what helped me, Jeff, was it created consistency. My message was systematic. Speed to lead is a non-thing. As a market leader, my day job is, recruiting, helping my loan officers grow, taking them to the next level. And I never want to be seen as distracted from that with personal production. Right. So this enables me to create, a channel for them to come to me when they're ready, that same day, hopefully, and set something up and enable me to kind of to function.
So regarding the leads, it's handling the lead from the point of like, what do you give me the front end of that? Are you running a Facebook ad or?
Yeah, so a lot of them come in via Facebook. So I kind of got really techie. I kind of followed all the rules that Bonzo gave me. So I created the campaigns in Bonzo. Mm-hmm. I have some Facebook ads that I run. Okay. I went on to I use Lead Pops for that. Yep. Which I'm sure a lot of folks are familiar with Lead Pops. Mm-hmm. And then I created a Zap in Zapier. So the second a lead comes in, Zapier grabs it and sends it straight into Bonzo. And then within 60 seconds, they get a text message from me. They get an immediate, or they get a voicemail from me right away. Then they get an immediate text, and then I do a video email. So all that happens within the first 5 minutes because people like to communicate in different ways. Some people respond well to the email. Some will call me right back on the text message, like they saw a call came through, so they quickly call me. Mm-hmm. But each day, if they don't respond to me, they get another touch. They get another touch on the third day, the sixth day, and then finally, I think the last one is, does this phone belong to so and so? And then they say, well, yes, it does. And then I come back saying, oh, okay, well, you were asking about, a home buyer program. So it's constantly dripping them behind the scenes, and I'm only getting involved. I'm only engaging when they raise their hand, which is a huge time saver.
So there's logic in the system then that says, hey, if they answer this or that, then we pivot or move them to a different messaging.
No, the second they respond, they come off of Bonzo. Then it's my job. Bonzo's the purpose that I see it as is it's to start the conversation, not to keep the conversation going. So once they say, typically my response is, so my text that goes out is it says, one of them is, have you found a house or are you just getting started? So a text will come into me saying, I'm just getting started. And that's the first thing I see. So I know exactly what triggered that response. I know exactly how to handle that call. It does everything it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So the key thing once again, is you're driving conversations, you're managing conversations at scale. Had you tried other systems before?
Yeah. The one system I had before that was, oh my God, I have 5 things to do before I can call this guy back. That system was not super successful. But no, this is the first time I really dove into a system to kind of automate it for me without me trying to juggle. You have a day where you get, twice the amount of leads that you expected, and you had a day planned before you started. So,
well, let me do this. Let me show a screen share right here. Let me see here. Let's switch around with this. And this is just, I grabbed this, I think, from one of your slide decks or website. And these are some of the functionality And for anybody who's not watching but listening on the audio version, I'll touch on a few of these for you. But you've got an easy to build automated campaign builder, personalized outreach where you can customize the fields, right? So it's like it's coming personalized. And if I skip over something incredibly important, Miles, make sure I don't. Obviously, we're talking about building out workflows, broadcasting texts, emails, voicemails. You mentioned video. I want to talk about that. Reminders, and an AI assistant. Love to hear more about that. So why don't you pile on to that, Miles, in terms of like, you know this from being in the day in the life of a loan officer, and you guys have this, promise you have, if you will, right, of work 20% less, produce 20% more. Let's unpack a little bit about that for people that are wondering, God, is this true? Can you hear me okay, by the way? Miles is like out in the Rocky Mountains with a satellite and rabbit ears. Go ahead.
It's coming in a little bit spotty, but yeah. So I caught the AI assistant thing. I think you're just going through a little bit on our website some of the things that we do. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So is there anything you mean to expound upon? Sorry that I missed that a little bit.
Well, and I've got my loan officer cap on. So look, you and I talked before, and it's like so coming out of the gate. Tell me why this is not a CRM or how it differs than a CRM.
Yeah, so we believe in, that's a great question. And we get that a lot. And I don't want to wait for, but there's a time and a place for data. There's a time and a place to get in and out and create conversations and to continue momentum of conversations. So yes, there are CRM features. You can see your people within the database. Bonzo is all about conversations. And the way we do that, disruption. You can get going and from not using Bonzo to creating your first campaign in under 20 minutes. I, along with some of the other top producing loan officers around the country that have used our platform, have developed 15 different campaigns that we have pre-built within the system. Facebook ads, new realtor appointment setting to pre-approved clients, a 90-day set it and forget it campaign. You get in there. You go through the builder, the screenshot that I shared there, but it's very easy. You click through the days, you record your voicemails, change any copy you want, add your emojis, which keeps it very conversational and realistic, and just simply press go. What's also nice is every single time that you want to converse, again, under that type of person. So let's say you create your pre-approved client campaign. You have to record 2 voicemails. Anything outside of that you want to change, you simply have to edit and add any emojis and do anything else that's specific to you and your personality. You turn it on, and then every time you pre-approve someone, you just have to enter their name, phone number, email, and agent's name, and that's it. And you're going to communicate with that pre-approved client for 90 days. So I would say ease of use. And we focus on just the platform being really pretty. So we take pride in that.
It is very pretty, I have to say. Let's talk about video for a second. And Al, you mentioned that you are also sending a video, automated video to a lead follow-up when somebody inbounds on a lead. So can you unpack, how you guys are using video? Is it your own platform, or what's that all about?
Great question. So you can build video right within the campaign. So video is popular. It's hot right now. There's a lot of stats supporting that. Video is a key player to keep it personalized. It's that next level of relationship creation. You have that voicemail, you have email, then voicemail, text, ease of use. Adding video just kind of encompasses showing your face, emotion, and showing all the communication that's not verbal or written. So we use, and we're partnered with, you can create campaigns right within our system to it. So you don't have to set one of those, through third-party providers. You can do it right within your campaign or nurture campaign. All you have to do is select the icon right there under either email, text, press the button, record right from the dashboard. You can insert the video. It plays within the text message thread or plays a little GIF within the email thread. And it's really easy.
Very cool. Al, so you're doing a lot of video? You got over your fear of video?
I don't think we had much of a choice of fear of video the past 90 days if you wanted to survive, right?
That is true.
No, I mean, I've created several videos, super easy. For each of my campaigns, they're different, whether it's a refi campaign or a purchase campaign, or some of the lead gen I do is different in terms of how it comes in. So it's very personalized. Obviously, it's gender neutral. you know, quick and to the point. It can be easily duplicated, but have had no issues with the video. And what's really neat, I want to kind of go back to a point we talked about earlier, is the point of it is to spark conversation. So the second the conversation is started, everything stops. So I have in my first 10 minutes of an inbound client, you know, the voicemail goes out, and if they call me right back on that voicemail, they don't get the text 2 minutes later. And if they get the voicemail and the text, and then they reach back out to me via text saying I want more information, they don't get the video email 5 minutes later. So it's pretty intuitive in how it kind of just takes that person and then immediately gift wraps it to you, and then turns off. Now, at the same time, you can turn it back on again. So let's say somebody, you know, up calls to me and then hangs up.
Yep.
You know, I can reactivate that campaign so they get the email, they get the text, and then if they don't reply, they get. So it's pretty smart. And like I was saying before, I have a lot of power and control over it. I can take people in, take people out, resume people, pause people. It's pretty helpful.
And you can keep track of all this on your desktop. Is that how you tend to use it, or are you using your mobile phone for tracking?
I use it on my desk. I'm in front of my computer all day, most days, so it's just easy for me to do it that way. There is a mobile app that I use a lot for contact information if I'm on the go, but I would say 90% of the time is desktop.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Miles, were you going to say something?
Yeah, what's also nice about that, and thanks for bringing up those points, Al, it can be general, but it also can be very specific. So if you're looking to go after one specific, you know, top will of a realtor, for instance, that you want to set an appointment with, you can create one custom individualized campaign, really take your time with it. Let's say you spend 30 minutes on this one campaign and built it out over, you know, 30 days where you're going to touch on this giant agent, you know, every 2 to 5 days. You can put video in there and you can make it very specific to them. So it looks like you're taking a lot of time to email, send those voicemails that are specific to them. So there's that other specific route too, so to, you know, convert to combat the more generalized campaigns.
And this is an interesting point to bring up too. When you talk about campaigns, I think we leaned a little bit heavy on inbound leads coming in, but I mean, I'm starting to develop a campaign right now on realtors where I do a once a month touch, middle of the month. Hey, just letting you know that I'm here. If you have any rescues or any files you might have a question about, I'm always here to take your call. You know, something like that. Realtors that I've worked with in the past. I'm working on a 30, 60, 90-day post-closing campaign for clients. And I tell them at closing, hey, listen, I'm going to reach out to you 30, 60, 90 days out. Make sure your payment is what you thought it is. Answer any questions that you have. So I send out a generic 30, 60, 90, and then throw in a little, oh, by the way, you know, if you have any family or friends that are interested, I'd love to work with them. Just, you know, text me back their information. So it's a way for it to do multiple outreaches, whether it's past clients, inbound leads, realtors, birthdays, you know, what have you, and do the job of 30 people without one person doing it.
Yeah, oftentimes one of the challenges that people have when they're switching systems, right, database management, CRMs, whatever you want to call it, conversation platforms, is the transition and the moving of the data, right, in the ramp up period. So I'll start with you, Al. What was your experience with that? I mean, how would you, probably not pain free, but you know, how was the process for you for migrating?
So here's my thing, and Miles, please stop me or correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I'm not dumping data, because you know what, I'll tell you this, if I did, then the response would be so overwhelming that it would defeat the whole purpose in the first place. So for example, my lead gen as it comes in, so that's a no-brainer. As it comes in, that gets handled. But importing, you do have the option. I did to import things, and I brought in you know, past clients that I've worked with in chunks, in a monthly chunk. Like these are people that I want my August anniversaries or my June anniversary clients. So this way I'm not throwing a ton of you know, data into the system that I'm not going to be able to manage. And then in terms of recruiting, I had 5 prospects a day, because if I put 30 prospects in a day and then in there's that one guy who I really want and I miss him in the fray, that would kind of not be a good idea. So I kind of do it in segments so this way over a quarter I have everyone, or over a month I have everyone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. Miles, how do you help people with onboarding?
Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. Great question. I think that's a smart strategy, Al. You can onboard somebody, you can put them right in a data bank without running a campaign, and then you can drip in from there. But what's key about any strategy we take is we have happiness advisors. As a former loan officer, I took the philosophy of a loan officer assistant and we hired them out within a company. And we basically provide them free cards with your subscription to any of our users. Happiness advisors can import prospects, they can go straight with you. They can drip on, they can import, move prospects from campaign to campaign and drip them into those campaigns to avoid the overwhelming responses that can happen. So the happiness advisor is there from start to finish, and they can strategize, brainstorm, move clients from campaign to campaign, create campaigns, the whole nine yards, just to allow for ease of use.
Also, so Al, you mentioned about realtor targeting. I know, Miles, last time you and I talked, you guys have a very interesting feature of your platform that allows people to pull data on real estate agents, production-wise, lenders they use, things like that. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, so we can do some really targeting outbound. Al, is that what you're referring to? Have you done some very targeted outbound to realtors using that capability?
So that's interesting. So in my role, I don't use it so much for myself. I use it for my team.
Your team.
So when I meet with, if a loan officer wants to know what a realtor's really up to, I can pull that data and kind of see who they're working with. And then also from a recruiting standpoint, you can find out who the loan officers are partnered with realtor-wise. So it's some pretty smart data.
Yeah, for sure. What either Miles or Al, what are some of the features that people get most amped about when they take a look at what you guys can do?
One thing that has been touched on, yes, our partnership with MMA is very attractive. You look up the production of a loan officer, a real estate agent, see their contact information. We're currently finishing up a hook that you'll press a button, and the contact information will flow over Bonzo, and the follow-up will start. Be dubbed meeting maker, if you will. It's kind of cute. So that obviously is a very big hook to attract some of our users. Another thing that's pretty awesome are one-offs. So you can have all of your, let's say, realtors or pre-approved clients to a campaign, and drip campaigns are awesome. They're also very limiting in the sense that you somehow and sometimes lose your personality in them. So the one-offs are amazing because while they're going through the campaign, 90-day pre-approved campaign, for instance, you can send out had Memorial Day, and a lot of people would select groups, everyone in your database, and a voicemail or a text message with emojis. It reads the prospect's first name. And so without disrupting campaign, you can send one-off voicemail, email, and text campaigns to your database to keep it very personalized. On Facebook, a lot of people use it because you get the Facebook notifications through Bonzo. Instead of sending a generic Facebook like, hey, happy birthday, you can go in Bonzo, record a voicemail to your agents and to your past clients, and that one-off communication over personalized, and then that pre-approval campaign or that realtor referral relationship campaign, or whatever campaign is going, still continue to go.
That's very cool. You also have, looking at your integrations page, you have a growing list of integrations from Zillow to HomeBot to Realtor.com, obviously Zapier for making a lot of connections. That just makes me wonder, how how would somebody be like Zillow, for example? How is somebody using Zillow? By the way, you also offer this to realtors?
We do. Yeah, we absolutely offer realtor in a growing population of insurance agents. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, so when it comes to, sorry, your question, I just totally blanked.
Zillow. What's the Zillow integration? What does that do?
Yeah, so we just, this mountain air, man, it's just causing everything to be fuzzy. We just finish up an agent premier integration book. So if you're spending any money on Zillow ad spend, the lead will actually come directly in from Zillow without even a webhook, a Zapier integration. So that's obviously very, very easy.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So listen, for people who are watching or listening, they want to get more info. What's the best place for them to learn more about Bonzo, get a demo, something like that?
Yeah, just head on over to www.getbonzo.com. See there, just book a demo. Just you heard about some podcasts for you. But really looking forward to having conversations with anybody who'll have us.
Al, any parting words for, I mean, you're managing a team of LOs. You know the psyche, the mindset of an LO, and when it comes to all this kind of stuff, what would you say in terms of people considering Bonzo?
So I would never tell somebody to do something or endorse something or support something without.
You cut out there. Say it one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
So I was saying I would never want
to
push them in a direction that I hadn't done myself. And having done this for a month, I'm starting to introduce this more to my team as a way to just increase their productivity.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we look forward to checking back with you soon because it's only been about a month. So maybe in 90 days or something, we'll circle back and we'll have a new update of progress and additional things you've done. I love the fact that you guys were talking about the badge of busyness here, which is a lot of LOs. I'm sure you've seen this as well, Al. A lot of LOs like to wear that as a badge. And it's time we got off of that because our job is really to, it's not about the hours worked. It's about, right, what's the word? The P word, not the profitability, the productivity. Thank you. There we go. The mountain air is getting to me out here, Miles. So anyway, listen, guys, I appreciate you being part of today's podcast. We'll definitely have you back on another one, bring you down from the mountains, Miles. And I appreciate everybody watching. By the way, one last reminder, if you don't have the book yet, you know what to do. Go to disruptordieBook.com and you'll have an option for me to ship you the book. You just pay for shipping, get the book for free, or order from Amazon, whatever your preference is. Either way, we're going to go out with our theme song, what we usually do. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you being here, Miles and Al. And we'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.